Hey, if you do land clearing or forestry mulching, running 1 to 3 machines, but feel stuck at the same revenue level every year, this video is for you. I want to show you real operators who broke through that ceiling and what they all had in common. I'm going to walk you through a handful of land clearing and forestry mulching companies who added 200,000, 500,000, or even a million plus a year to their business using this system. More important than the numbers, I want to show you the patterns behind those wins, how they priced, how they handled leads, and the exact simple system they used so it's scalable and repeatable. So if you've ever looked at Facebook and Google and thought, yeah, but does that really work in my market? Does that really work with my equipment and my schedule? Keep watching. You're about to see exactly what guys like you did to change that. And just so we're clear, none of these are perfect unicorns. These are normal operators who decided to treat this like a real business, commit to a simple system, and stick with it long enough for it to work. Stick with me. You're going to see the exact businesses that got these results and how they did it. All right, here we go. I'm going to walk you through a few of our recent case studies. I just met with a lot of our guys one-on-one to review their results in 2025. That's what I'm excited to show you guys. There is guys from owner operator, under 500K to guys making multiple millions. So stick with me to see which one you can relate to. A-Team and Sons, amazing dude. Works with his son, of course. When they came to us, they had good equipment, good work, but no consistent way to keep the calendar full. Lots of word of mouth. We plugged in the system, proper ads, and they followed our scripts and content plan for the ads. Huge hack there. Real follow-up and an actual booking process and a pricing structure that made sense for them at the time. In just 6 months, they generated 270 leads, turned 55 of those into jobs, and added about $200,000 in revenue. That worked out to be around a 7x return on investment on the whole thing, what they spent with us and their ad spend, and about a 15x return on their ad spend. Here's the key. They raised their prices after we reviewed their sales from last year and kept the same close rate. So guess what? Now he's making more money because we took that data and he's got consistent leads. And so he had the confidence to do this. And he's closing the same amount of jobs but making more money. Guess what that turned into? They bought 3 new machines this week. He just texted me and let me know. Stop apologizing for the work, for charging for what the work was worth. One decision led them to be able to get those 3 machines and be on track to do 500K or more this year. Tony, CJ Properties, great dude out of South Georgia. Great example of what happens when someone goes all in for a full year. His first full year with us, $552,000 in revenue. That's a 25x return on what he spent. Pretty awesome. But the 25x isn't the most interesting part. It's what he did differently. He's not being the cheapest guy in town. We built a consistent lead and booking funnel. He showed up to estimates and actually closed them instead of treating them like free bids. He uses a very cool system of painting the vision for the property owner and then tying that to their budget. Not just selling a service, he's selling a vision of the outcome. And he didn't quit after 30 days because it felt slow. He committed to the system for the whole year. That's why he's on a clear path to do 1.2 million this year. With that 552K, what he did was invest in a ton of equipment. So now he has clear capacity and lead flow to do 1.2 million this year. Hoosier Land Services, Matt Hecker, great dude. They weren't brand new. They were already doing okay, but they wanted to stop guessing and relying on whoever happened to call that week. We rolled out Facebook ads, Google ads, website, CRM, automations, Google Business Profile. That resulted in $611,000 in additional revenue, about a 20x return on their investment. Now he's aiming for $1 million this year as well. Key behavior, stop chasing junk jobs, tighten up targeting and messaging so they're talking to the right customers at the right price point. Fewer tire kickers, more profitable work. Guys, I've said this a million times. When you make videos calling out your ideal client and educating them on how, why, when, what, who, and where, you just get better leads and you make more money, and it takes minutes out of your day. Please, please if you listen to anything today, make videos talking to your clients and put them online. Chris at Boom, killer, North Carolina. Chris at Broom is the fast start story. In the first 4 months with us, he added $250,000 in revenue and landed a contract with the city of Charlotte that helped push him towards a $1.2 million a year, gaining a 16x return on his money spent in 2025. His big shift was treating this like a business. He tightened his brand, tightened his quoting process, trusted the numbers when leads started coming in. He didn't panic and turn off ads. He doubled down on the work that was paying him back. He added machines. He added operators. He built the system up. He gave us feedback. If you talk to him, you can see he's one of our reviews on Google. He's one of our testimonials. But that doesn't mean, again, that this was all perfect. There were things that we had to work back and forth with him to make this work right. But he stuck with it, and look at that. It paid off. Yard Force, one of my favorite clients, been with us for years. Long time, long game example. So they were under $1 million a year when we started. They wanted to grow beyond the local guy with the machine status. Over time, as we kept refining their offer and their ads and their back-end systems, as we continue to do, they went from under $1 million to $2.7 million in 2024, and now $3.3 million in 2025, and we're shooting for $4 million in 2026. Amazing. They did not have some crazy new service. Same work. The difference was consistent marketing, a follow-up engine that we call the 72-hour booking machine, and leadership that was willing to raise prices and build a real pipeline. I just talked to them yesterday. They closed 13.4% of all leads from last year. It was like 996 leads, and they closed 134 jobs. I mean, that's where the return on investment comes from. That's all it is. And then, of course, we have some of our legacy clients here, Jerry, Brian, Eric. Y'all have heard me talk about these guys a lot. They've been with us 3-4 years. Different markets, different personalities, same core story. They committed to advertising and follow-up for the long haul. They let us build out websites, CRM, automations, AI, SEO, Google, Facebook. Over time, you add all of these things and you become omnipresent in your market, and you get consistent flow of leads all the time. Instead of just, oh, let me see if this works for 30 days, if it's just another scam marketing. They treated their calendar, their leads, and their pricing like a real business owner, not just a guy taking whatever comes in. Those are the operators who quietly stack 6 and 7 figures over a few years without needing to be social media famous. Guys, these guys have been with us 4 years, 3 to 4 years between them. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, we're not going to have a business, and they're not going to keep paying us for 4 years if this isn't working. I want to encourage you, when you do the right things and you track the right numbers, and you build the right systems from what you know works, you get results. That's all it is. So what do they have in common? Let me boil it down to a few patterns here for you. They raise prices and stop racing to the bottom. Best guys are not the cheapest. They charge what the work is worth and let the marketing bring in enough volume to pick and choose. Guys, the stars in our system, they're closing 10 to 15% of leads. The point is not to get 1,000 qualified leads and do 99% of those. The point is to get enough opportunities to find the best jobs that are ones you want to do and ones that make you money. They install a real booking and follow-up system, not sticky notes, not call them back later, actual funnels, calendars, text, and email follow-ups so leads do not slip through the cracks. Stop chasing junk jobs. They get clear on what profitable jobs look like. They know their numbers, and they let ads in the screening process filter out the rest. They commit to ads plus follow-up for at least a year. All of these people I just mentioned have been with us for a year or more. Not we tried it for a month, a year. And this is very common. Well, let me finish. That's where the 200K, 500K, $1 million plus comes from. It's very common, not just in my business, but in lots of business, for people to try something, but they don't try it long enough for it to actually work, which actually hurts them more. One of my favorite quotes from Alex Hormozy is like, if I told you if you spent 50 grand, you're going to get 500 grand back, would you do it? Most people would say yes. But what really happens is you spend 5 grand at a time. So you spend $5 grand a month, say, and to get to 50, that's going to take 10 months. Well, a lot of people can't wait to get that, and this is example numbers, but you can't wait to get that return on investment because you're impatient, or you can't see the future, or you didn't make a good plan. I know you can't see the future. What I'm saying is you don't have the vision for the future. And so people will spend 5, 10, 15, 20,000 and quit before they ever hit that 50,000 mark to get the 500,000 return. Input whatever numbers you want. If it takes, 10 grand to get 100 grand and you're spending, $2 grand a month, whatever. If you quit before, then you just guarantee the loss of that money, right? We've never had anyone who's been with us a year or more not get an insane return on investment. It's always somebody who quits too early or didn't give it enough effort or didn't follow the recommendations. Very few, but of course it happens. But anybody who's been with us a year or more, this is what we see. They act like owners, not operators. Look at the math, understand return on investment, and make decisions based on data, not your mood. Huge point there. If you've got 1 to 3 machines, you're already doing decent work, and you have the capacity to handle more jobs, there's no magical reason you can't be one of these stories. The difference is whether you've actually got a system like this running in your business. In the next video, I'm going to break down the exact framework we use with these companies that offer the math and the system behind these results. If you don't want to wait and you're already thinking, I want something like this built for my business, there's a link somewhere around this video, in the description, in the comments, popping up here. Click it, answer a few questions, and you can see the behind the scenes of how it all works. If it makes sense, we can book a call and go through this together. Either way, use these stories as proof this is possible. The only real question is whether you're willing to run the same play long enough to let it work. See you soon.